Hello everyone and welcome to the new and improved Retrograde. We've got a lot to cover, so let's just get into the nitty gritty of it all. Gritty. I know it's been a minute since we posted, like almost a year I think. Somewhere around that, I think like 9 months, whatever. And I'm sure many of you have some burning questions like, I don't know, are you guys alive and dead channel? But I'm here to assure you that we are all very much alive, slightly dead on the inside, quite honestly. And our channel is kind of going through some change, kind of like a channel puberty, something like that, no? Yeah, maybe not the best metaphor, but you get the gist of it. I'm sure those of you with a keen eye may have noticed that we've been updating a few things around the channel, and this little update video will hopefully give you all some insight on what we've been cooking. So, just to keep myself on track, I'd like to talk about some of the visual updates to familiarize returning subscribers with the new logo and banner, as well as what to look forward to in the future. And I'd kind of also like to discuss the state of the channel, specifically where we were, where we're at, and kind of where we're going. So let's just get into it. When Alex and I started the channel back in 2018, we were like infants to the YouTube creator thing. We kind of went in with minimal knowledge of what we were doing, and a lot of stuff had to be learned very quickly. And believe it or not, when we started our channel, it wasn't even called Retrograde. Yeah, it was called Ott Gaming. Yeah, it was a not so funny inside joke about the way Link says it. Honestly, I don't really know what we were thinking. I think maybe we were like drunk or sleep deprived, but anyway, it didn't take long for us to decide that Ott was in the future, and kind of after a little brainstorming sesh, I came up with the name Retrograde. But while the name changed, a lot of the graphics, kind of including like the profile picture and the banner, remained tied to the original name. So recently, I decided that it was time to upgrade or update Retrograde to be more cohesive, and thus the new logo was born. I'd also like to send a shout out to my girlfriend. Thanks for the help, my amazing girlfriend, and her amazing graphic design skills. Part of the logo change kind of involved losing the retro aesthetic, the pixel art part of it, which, I was kind of, iffy about, but I like to think that this one is a little bit more professional and it feels cleaner. I also felt like, the original one isn't dead. We can still use it. It might make appearances from time to time, who knows. But I also felt like shortening the letters and making RG the main profile will help maintain that cohesion, because we're going to be honest with ourselves. We know we're not the only Retrograde, okay? And I'm looking at you, James Blake. But we want to be the best, and for us, recognition is key. Plus, it's a lot easier to say, hey, look for the all caps Retrograde with like a neon colored RG rather than two dudes tilting their head back going, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much why we did it. Next, I updated the banner, and there's two things you might have noticed. One is how much the art has improved. And like I said, when Alex and I started, not only was I new to posting on YouTube, but my digital art was kind of poopy. Over the course of 5 years, I made about 52 different thumbnails for the channel. And I figured, since we were going into our 5th year as a channel, that it was time for the banner to be updated to reflect my current skills. And quite honestly, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. The other thing you might have noticed is that Kylie has joined the roster as part of our team. For those of you who don't know, Kylie is my girlfriend and has been with the channel since our very first video, all those years ago. She's also one of my biggest motivators and supporters, and quite honestly, without her anniversary gift to me a few years back, I wouldn't even have the PC that has rendered countless videos and 3D segments from animations, helped me edit videos, record half the games, or make any of those thumbnails. Hell, if it wasn't for her technique on nesting for using Adobe Premiere, the Zelda video wouldn't even exist. So I even owe her that, honestly. But yeah, she recently graduated and she kind of wanted to be a part of the channel. And, I was just about ready to kind of give up on it due to my high expectations kind of never being met. But she convinced me that there could be a future here and we'll just have to work a bit harder to see it. She wanted to help alleviate a bit of the work as well by taking over the social media side, which has been a big help to me, considering for the past 5 years, I've been the main editor, artist, and promoter of the channel. In the end, I think she is more than deserving of a spot, and I look forward to the things we'll create. I'll also link socials below so you can all keep up with the comings and goings of our channel outside YouTube, so yeah. As far as other updates, I've also updated the end screen for every video with help from a good friend, Voicehead, who modeled the new chest while I did texture work. The podcast has also undergone a bit of an update, and a new episode will be releasing alongside this video to kind of give everybody a more detailed explanation of the segment about to run through. I'll link it below and or somewhere on the screen. I don't know. I also plan on updating our Halloween opening to include Kylie and change a few things to be more in line with the current range of skills, so look forward to that. And lastly, I'm also in the planning stages of working on a new core opening, but that is way later down the line sort of thing, but stay tuned, because I am hoping to make it a pretty big thing. With all the updates out of the way, I'm sure many of you are wondering where we've been for the last 9 months, and that's a good question, but with a bit of a complicated answer. I'm not going to speak as much for Alex on this, but I will give his sort of like side of what he told me during the podcast. So long story short, after Alex graduated, He essentially went straight to work right out of college. He got a pretty decent job, but he does have to put in a lot of time and effort to make ends meet for bills and school loans. And like I said in the podcast, he dives a bit deeper, and he talks about how he's had to kind of take a bit of a break from everything, people and everything like that, just to kind of work on himself. And he's actually starting to finally feel happy, and I'm just happy for him. I'm glad that he's getting to a better state of mind, because I know he's been through a lot and stuff that we have never even mentioned on the channel, but he's gone through a lot of stuff in like the last 5 years. So yeah, no, I'm just glad to see that he's starting to finally kind of, perk up a little bit. And, and as for me, mine is a little bit more labyrinthy, but I'm going to try and, like I said, keep it as condensed as possible. Since 2021, I've been on a cycle of art and channel burnout. After quitting a not so great job experience after my WAPA video, I kind of felt like an art imposter. Like, I felt guilty for giving up so soon. And I delve deeper into that in the podcast. I mean, I even bring up the messages that were sent to me. I can't remember exactly what was said, but essentially it just felt like the guy didn't think that I was capable of doing the job, even though he hired me for it. And that the way he worded it felt just like a knife. It sucked. So for several months after quitting that job, I couldn't pick up a pencil, let alone think about the channel. And it kind of stuck with me through the rest of 2021 and the majority of 2022. I came back in September and October of 2021 with several videos and like a new opening, which kind of helped me feel like I still had some skill retention, but by that time my mental health was at an all-time low. This kind of prompted me to kind of hate my job, which also prompted me to make shower thoughts. And by that time, I wasn't still getting the attention, I guess, that I required for my brain to tell me that I was doing it good, or a good job. So I kind of felt like the channel was a bit of a time sink. It wasn't meeting my expectations, and I felt like it was kind of going nowhere. So between that being coupled with a fact that I watched a majority of my friends and peers kind of move on and find jobs in their field, left me kind of feeling like everything I was doing was for nothing, and kind of solidifying a reason for believing I was cursed. Because right after I quit that job, as many pixel art jobs as I applied to for different games, it felt like every single one just either left me on read or unread, didn't even read the message, or they said that my art wasn't good enough for the thing. So yeah, I had to deal with a lot of that during that time, and it wasn't very, very fun. But yeah, no, I mean, early on in 2022, I decided I needed to focus on myself and building my career. So I opened up commissions, reopened the Etsy shop, and started streaming heavily. While I made affiliate and got a few commissions, it wasn't enough to sustain me and only prolonged my return to the dreaded 9-to-5. During the summer, I was offered a job with my girlfriend's parents that, while I remained hesitant to take, I couldn't deny the pay bump. But there were a few things that weren't so great about it. First off, I'd have to live without my girlfriend, meaning I'd have to live with her parents alone, because she had started a new internship. I had to wake up 2 hours early every single morning that I worked, and to be honest with many of you, I'm obviously not a morning person. I had to work a minimum of 44 hours, which I condensed into 4 days so I could have more free time, which didn't really matter much because, well, I'll get into that in a sec, but over the course of 4 days, obviously 44 hours makes it 11 hours a day. I had to drive 40 minutes each way, there and back, which put a lot of strain on my car, leading to over $5,000 in repairs over the course of my 7-month stay. And by the time I got home and got dinner, I generally only had about 2 hours for myself, and that's if I didn't go to the gym. Most people might have said, well, at least you had 3 days off, but right before I moved, I was actually offered a job with an amazing team to be a pixel artist. The opportunity is amazing, and the people are awesome and understanding, thankfully, but this became my life on my 3 days off, save for October. There were some other personal issues that went into it with, regarding her parents, but that's more of a private matter. Needless to say, I've never felt more isolated, tired, depressed, or conflicted in my life. But early 2023, I decided I didn't want to stay, and I made the decision to return home and find work here. It's been hard to find something that pays as much, but my mental and physical health have been much better since returning, and with the sudden rush of motivation I felt now, and our soon-to-be 5th-year anniversary, was the time for the channel resurgence. I just wanted to apologize and say I'm sorry to everyone who has had to wait, but I like to believe the wait will be worth it. We plan on uploading all through September and October, as well as having a 4- and 5-year comp alongside a Halloween special that I have planned. It'll just depend on what I'm able to do with it. I also happen to have a lot of video ideas that, quite honestly, I have so many, I honestly don't even know which one I want to do first. But all I can say is I'm very excited. And stay tuned, as some of those videos happen to be animations, and maybe even some amateur paranormal exploration videos. Anyway, just want to say thank you all for the support, especially if you watched this far in. It means a lot that y'all have stuck with us, and we're very excited to start this new chapter in our channel's life. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, all that crazy jazz, and check out the podcast if you'd like some more information. And yeah, we'll see y'all in the next video.